Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Goodreads as BookishStitcher, all one word. I hope you've had a wonderful week since I last podcasted. I've had a very busy one. My work, I don't talk about my work much, but I work from home for a small nonprofit. I do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. And my work is actually doing a new division for the organization, and it goes up next week, goes live, whatever you want to say, and I've been doing a lot of work for that. So I do have knitting to show you, and I'm really excited because there are some great finished objects. The first thing I have to show are my Knitter's Nightmare Sally's Dress socks. Yay! These were really fun to knit, and I love the colors. It was very funny because I was finishing them up yesterday. We went to the library, my husband and my kids and I, we all went to go kind of hang out and get books and such. And a dude came and approached me, a guy came and approached me and was telling me how much he loved my socks. And he was a pretty young guy. I think he was in the military, kind of looked like a military guy. There are a lot of military here in San Antonio. And I said, yeah, it's a color. The color is based off of, do you know the movie Nightmare Before Christmas? And he said, yes, that's one of my favorite movies. And I said, it's based off of Sally's Dress. And he just thought it was so neat. And that was really awesome because I get a lot of stares when I knit in public, but I don't often get comments. And a lot of times if I do, it's from a girl. But from a guy, I've rarely gotten comments from a guy. So it was really neat to get a comment from a guy about how neat my knitting was. Now I am having some sparkling or just plain water today because it's in the hundreds here in Texas right now. But I did want to say a quick thank you to Deb's Knits. She posted in the chatter thread for the Ravelry group a really great recipe for cold brewed coffee, and I am definitely going to try that. So thank you so much for posting that. My next finished object was one that took perseverance because at the end the rows kept getting longer and I was really ready to be done. I really wanted the finished object. This for me, they talk about product versus process knitter. This was a really big project for me because I really wanted the finished project. And it's done. This is my Iberian Discovery Shawl by Stephen West. And Danny was commenting on one of my friends on Instagram. She loved seeing the shawl. It was such a compliment because she knits such beautiful shawls. And so it was nice to hear it. She thought this was beautiful. And it's done, Danny. You go up and up. I don't know how much you can see. Oh, see, it's still going. This thing is gorgeous and it's beautiful. And it's huge. From there, all the way over to there. It is so snuggly. It's so soft. I'm not going to block it. I don't really aggressively block anything at all. I will lightly block stuff, but this, I want it to retain its squishiness, so I'm not going to be blocking it. I'll, of course, wash it and get it in some nice soak so it'll smell wonderful. But I'm really proud of myself with this because it's knit out of Malabrigo in the water green colorway, the single ply, which makes it really squishy. But the reason why I'm really proud of myself is there were lots of opportunities in this shawl to go the easy route. Like I could have not done, this is a welt right here. It's a 3D, three-dimensional thing. It pops out. So I didn't have to do that. I could have just skipped it and made it easier. There's another one. There are 3 of them in the shawl. There's the bottom row one right there. There are 3 of them in the shawl, and I could have just skipped them and it would have gone easier or quicker, and I could have skipped the picot edging, but I didn't, and I'm really glad that I didn't because I really wanted the shawl as it was on the picture, and that's what I have, and it's gorgeous and so nice and squishy. And I was laying it out to take pictures and my son was saying that it looks like the moon. So I might be doing a little photo shoot with my daughter, maybe laying inside of this if she wants to try it and do a cute picture. But that is it finished. It's huge, it's wonderful. I can just envision myself. Once August hits, my brain starts thinking fall is coming. Even though August is the hottest month here, my brain I feel fall is coming. So I can just envision myself sitting out on my brand new deck. We have a deck in our backyard now, on a chair, reading a book, and then just sitting and with this around my shoulders reading. So I think that will be wonderful. And those are all of my finished objects for this week. The next thing I have are my whips. And my first one is one that you've seen. It's in my Freckled Whimsy bag. And it is my Susan B. Anderson shawl design. And it's in Desert Vista Dye Works, in the fall dragon colorway. And I am now done with the main body of it. I just need to put on, I'm ready to do the border. And it's pretty big. I can't stretch it all the way out on the needles, of course, but I'm done with the red, and as you can see, it's now starting to transition into this lovely purple. And that's what the whole border is going to be done on. And I'm really still enjoying that, and I'm going to try to, that was the thing that got the least amount of love this week, because I was finishing all the way hard as I could that Iberian Discovery, so that got very little love. But this week I'm going to focus on that and try to get it done for my finished object for next week. The next two things I have are brand new knits, which is so exciting. Okay, this is a knit for my daughter because we started our little ones KAL. I hope you're joining in with us. And this is an On the Dock knits bag, and she's on Etsy. And I love knitting all of my daughter's sweaters in this bag. It's just such a whimsical and cute little bag to me, so it's perfect for little girl knits. And the sweater I cast on for my daughter is the Starboard by Alicia Plummer, I believe. Yes, Alicia Plummer, and it's going really well. I'm doing it in some Knit Picks City Tweed DK in the color CL58. Rhubarb. And I got this on sale from Knit Picks, and it was their Valentine's Day sale. They had a whole bunch of their pink and red yarns on sale. And it's really soft. It's not washable. I wasn't thinking very well on that point, but it's okay. So I just started, and this is a top-down raglan, and it has little pockets. So my daughter loves to put things in pockets. So it's just going to be very easy. And these stitch markers came with the bag, little trees. And I have them on my marbles needles, which I love. And that is that sweater. So it should go pretty fast. I am really excited to knit that for my daughter because I've been doing so many things that are very big long-term projects that I needed another small one that can get done fast. But speaking of big long-term projects, I started another sweater. Because why not? And I started another sweater on fingering weight, or I guess it's a light sport, but yeah. I love sweaters and I like knitting them, and there's so many gorgeous ones out there. So I've kind of resigned myself to where since I live in Texas, I don't really need that many worsted weight sweaters, but I can use fingering light sport weight sweaters, right? You know what I'm talking about. If you love sweaters, you can justify it to yourself. But so I started, and this is in my bag, which is Bags by Awesome Granny. And this is the happiest bag on the planet. Look at those whales. I love this bag. It's just, the whales they're such dandy little whales to me. And I mean dandy in the happy, a pinnacle of cultural refinement sense, not in a bad sense. Anybody that knows me, you guys know that I mean that in a completely good sense. I think this is wonderful, and it's showing up kind of funny on the screen, but it's woven kind of in that blue. And the inside is this happy yellow polka dots. I mean, could the bag be any happier? I don't think so. And so in this is a sweater that I'm starting, and I have had this yarn in my stash for a very long time with the meaning to knit this sweater. So it is my purposeful knitting sweater, and it is in Madeline Tosh Pashmina, which is a merino cashmere silk sport weight, 360 yards, and it's in the teddy bear colorway. And I just have that tiny little bit done, not much. So this I'm gonna just allow myself to kind of gradually work on it. I don't want to pressure myself. If it's done by Rhinebeck, that will be great. And I am knitting only 3/4 length sleeves on this. I have the one sweater for Rhinebeck that is very worsted weight, full sleeves, collar. For cold weather, it'll be great if it's cold in Rhinebeck. I have my Hitofude, which is elbow length sleeves on me, and it is all lace. So if it's not that cold in Rhinebeck, I'll have that sweater. And this is kind of the medium one, to where if it is a little bit cold, then, but not really cold, I can have this. And you're probably thinking, Jeanette, you're crazy. You're knitting 3 Rhinebeck sweaters and you're only going to be there 2 days. And to that I say, la 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 la, I can't hear you. No, I'm really excited. So, I don't know, go with the excitement, I say. And that's all of my works in progress. And I just realized I forgot to bring down my finished spinning. I have 2 braids that I spun the singles during Tour de Fleece, and I applied them. And I forgot to bring them down. I will bring them next time. I'm really sorry. My brain just escaped me. It's been a busy work week, so my brain's not all here. But I did want to say I forgot to answer another spinning question. Last week, Andrea asked me about how to store fiber and pencil roving, and I forgot that Casey, the reading knitter, asked me about how I picked my wheel. And this is a very simple answer. I went with the cheapest wheel that I had heard only good things about, and that's the Ladybug. And I know wheels can range in prices drastically, and I'm one of those people, it doesn't quite make sense, but the sticker price always shocks me. So if you added up my yarn stash, I'm sure it would be a ton more than a very nice wheel, but to me, paying that much right off the bat for one thing just makes me nervous. It doesn't make any sense, but that's how I am. So I have the Ladybug by Shocked, and I think it was one of the cheapest ones. I think the only cheaper one that you probably could have gotten that I know is the Babette, which is made out of PVC pipes. And I had heard bad things about that one. So the Ladybug, every person I've ever spoken to, and it was a lot, loved their Ladybug. So that's what I went with, and I love it. So if you're looking for a wheel, I would definitely suggest that one. That is all for spinning stuff. Now to enabling, I think, and then we'll do group news. So I have been going to show you guys my SSK stuff little bit by little bit. So today, the SSK stuff that I brought to show you is spinning related. So the first thing in here is this. This is by Tangerine Designs, and this is a thing that I didn't even hope to get. I had seen that she was going to be making some of these. She was showing them on Instagram, and I knew that I really wanted one because what I was currently using to store my fiber and spin out of was a plastic bag. It's not pretty, but it works. But I saw her putting these up, and I knew that I really wanted one, but I didn't want to get in my head that I really wanted one, if that makes any sense, because I wasn't going to go be first in line at the market, and I didn't want to be rushing a crowd, so I just told myself if it's still there, it's still there. And it was owls, and you guys know that I love owls. Anything with Russia, owls, anything whimsical, I love. Oh, look at that. And it has a pocket on the front, and the interior is lined in satin, so it doesn't grab the fiber. It's wonderful. I have been using this thing so much, so I can definitely say that it's wonderful. And if I knew how to sew, I don't think she sells a lot of these because they're hard to make or time consuming, but if I knew how to sew, if you knew how to sew, you could make yourself one. I do know how to sew, but not that well. I do like pajama pants and stuff like that, but this is gorgeous. So that was this is probably my biggest purchase from the market. And then what's inside of this, tiny bit of crinkling. This braid that I'm about to show you is the first I've ever had from this person, and it was the one that I saw when we're sitting, I told you guys, knitting, and we could see all the people loading stuff in from the market. And I was on my way back to go to the restroom, and I saw this walk by, and I pointed to all my friends, and I was like, and I got it. So I think this sold out. I think a lot of people got this one because it was beautiful. Okay, sorry. This is Fiber Optic in the raspberry cream. I'll show you the back, then I gotta take it out, but look at that. I don't know, there's something about, and it's the bamboo that does that. It's 50% merino, 50% bamboo, but it's something about the way the bamboo doesn't dye, it doesn't catch the dye in that. It just is gorgeous to me. I know a lot of people got this. My friend Shannon got one. I was seeing that on her show. And then the last thing I got, I really wanted this, but I told myself, we'll wait till the end of the day, and if it's still there, then it's meant to be mine, because I know that hers are really popular, and I wanted to kind of give everybody a chance to get one if they wanted one. And this is by Wool Pierogi, and it is, there's the information. It's 3.1 ounces base of Shetland and a whole lot more of question mark, exclamation mark. And I can't remember the color. It's like Galaxy or something. This came in a really cool box, but since I was flying, I had to dismantle it to take it with me. I couldn't take the whole box. It wouldn't have fit in my suitcase. But this is what it looks like. Look at that. It's going to be so much fun to spin. And there are two of them. I'm just really excited to see those little nips. I'm very excited for this. That is all the fiber stuff I got. So 2 braids of fiber and a bucket to store stuff in for them. Now for group news. So we just finished up our fingering weight KAL that's in the BookishStitcher podcast, BookishStitcher all one word podcast on Ravelry, and I drew 2 winners from the thread, and I have it written on a post-it note here, but post number 39, which was some socks knit by Blue Yarn Always, you won a Bags by Awesome Granny, a medium size, so contact me and tell me. You can go to her Etsy shop, and it's the You Pick medium size, and it's a pull-down scroll, and you can see the different fabric options. But contact me and tell me which one of those you would like, and I will tell Darlene. So thank you so much, Darlene. It was so sweet of you to donate that, so thank you. And then post 101, which was a beautiful shawl knit by PJ Pearls. You win this skein of Oops of Undead Yarn, and it's in the Shire colorway, and it's a 70-30 merino silk, 480 yards in the Medusa base, and it's in the Shire colorway. It's gorgeous. Creams and golds and greens, very much Shire. And then along with that, you can decide whichever Susanna Icy fingering weight pattern you want. Just get in touch with me and I'll get the yarn to you, and I will let Susanna know what pattern you would like. So thank you so much, Heidi of Undead Yarn, and thank you so much, Susanna, for the donations. That was really cool. I never expect to have donations. I kind of just always buy stuff myself to give away. So it really means a lot to me when people offer to do that, because I don't know, it's just sweet. So the next thing we had a fingering weight. We have our 1-year Podiversary prizes up now, and this is the last week to enter for those, so if you want to, go ahead and go over there. And I just want to say thank you for the sweet things that everybody's writing in that thread. I think I might print it up and keep it and have it somewhere to read on bad days, because you guys are so sweet, and the words that you're saying about me make my heart and my face smile. And it just, I'm so glad that you guys love the podcast, and I'm so glad that you guys enjoy coming and hearing me talk. So it just means a lot to me, and I wanted to say thank you. The next thing we have going on right now is our Little Ones KAL, and the Little Ones KAL is running August and September, kind of a kids are going back to school if you have any kids or anything like that. But the little ones count. I'm very flexible. As you guys know, I don't ever want the knit-alongs to be overwhelming to me or to you. So it can be anything that you knit for a little one. It doesn't have to be your little one. It can be for nieces, nephews, grandkids, fur babies, for charities, for... I like to have a gift box, and I am going to be knitting some gift box stuff for this KAL so that when people tell you, hey, I had a baby. Oh, you're really? Here's a hat. But at my husband's work, there are always people having babies, and I like to do little things for them. So it's just kind of what I'm known for. And I am excited to get this underway. I really need something that's fast and quick and will go by quickly. So I have a lot of things that I plan to knit for this. And the prize for this knit along is kind of awesome. So first, some Knitter's Pride Dreams in size 1 needles. And then to go with those needles, you'll need a skein of yarn to knit on them, right? So this is some Knitter's Nightmare. And this gorgeous reds and orange and green. It has 3 stripes. And it's her 80/20 merino nylon. And then inside this bag, I'm not going to take it out because I don't want to mess it up for you, but this is the little bag, and it is by You So-and-So, and it is a beverage-themed bag, not adult beverage. Well, adult is coffee and tea, I believe, and it has red and different stuff like that. So I will post a picture on the Ravelry group from her Etsy so you can see what the bag actually looks like. But I just thought that would be perfect for the little one knit along because before, I drink coffee now, and before I had my second child, I did not drink coffee. I actually hated it to the point where when I started drinking coffee, my mom thought that I had been possessed because I really couldn't stand coffee, and now I need it all the time because those little ones, they make you need coffee, or at least for me, they do. But that is everything for that knit along. There's a chatter thread up for that. I will put an FO thread up. And I would love to see pictures of things that you have knit for little ones. Your little ones or friends' little ones. Any little one. It can be anything. And the Reading Knitter already put an adorable picture in of her daughter. And I put in a picture of my daughter modeling. So come and put your cute pictures and we'll ooh and ah over all the cuteness. And whips count, anything counts. I'm really flexible about that. And another thing I would also like to know is your favorite charity for little ones, because I do want to do some charity knitting along for this. So if you have a favorite charity knit along for little ones, please write that in the chatter thread. I would really love to hear that. I think that is everything except for the book now. I hope it is. I probably forgot something. Sorry if I did. But the book this week is very special to me. It is, since we're doing Little Ones KAL, I kind of decided to pick this book, Little Women. And it's by Louisa May Alcott. And it's kind of funny because I did not read this book as a child. My mom I read a lot, but it wasn't classics. You know what I mean? I didn't read Anne of Green Gables as a child. I didn't read Little Women. I didn't read any of those kind of books as a kid. My mom wasn't really into the classics. I would read kind of fantasy stuff, or we read a lot of religious stuff, so that was kind of what I read as a kid. But I discovered these wonderful classics as an adult. Anne of Green Gables I actually read the very first year I was married, and I loved that series. And then Little Women I read after my son was born. And Little Women is the story of 4 sisters. They're the March sisters: Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. And Meg is the oldest sister, and she's very typical oldest sister, very responsible, very loving, very caring. Jo is the tomboy, exuberant, charming one who wants to be a writer. Then there's Beth, who is just sweet and kind and loving and a magical piano player. And then there's Amy, who is, I'm trying to think of a nice way to put Amy. Amy's not my favorite of the sisters. She's artistic, she's very creative, and she's apparently gorgeously beautiful. she can be a little bit of a spoiled child. She thinks a lot of herself. Let's just put it that way. Amy's not my favorite. I am just trying to think before I did this review. But anyways, it's about these 4 sisters and just their lives. It's just a very simple story of their life. And it has such, a lot of books that you read are sad, or at least that I read are sad. And I think a lot of books have that kind of, this book has a very heartwarming, happy feel to it. You walk away feeling like you've worn the Iberian Discovery shawl, like you've been wrapped in a big cozy hug of goodness. And I don't think there are a lot of books like that anymore, and this one is great. It doesn't have a lot of complex plot, it doesn't have a lot of drama, there's just kind of everyday life stuff, and there are ups and downs, of course, but there's no big twists, there's nothing to grab you. It's just a simple, wonderful story of these girls' lives. And there is one really sad thing in it, but I won't give it away, but probably most of you have already read this. My favorite, I was trying to think which would be my favorite of the sisters, and it's a really hard tie between, can you guess? You might, it's always fun to kind of guess who, if you know a person, who their favorite character would be, but it's a tie between Jo and Beth for me. I love writing, I always have, and I love Jo's spirit, so I really like Jo, but Beth just holds a special place in my heart for her quiet, sweet, humble spirit, and she always will. I really love Beth's character. Getting teary-eyed. But I would love to know, what sister you liked if you've read this book. Who's your favorite of the sisters? And I think that I would just encourage you, I guess the reason why I picked this is there a classic kids book that you never read? And I say kids, but this is a pretty massive book. I got it for 99 cents at a garage sale when I was an adult. But is there a classic kids book that you've never read? I would say go check it out because it can have such meaning for you as an adult. I never read this as a kid, but as an adult, it had a new level, I would imagine, to me. Or if there's a kid's one that you read but you haven't read since you were a kid, go back and read it. It will have new meaning for you as an adult. I remember one time when I was reading this book, I was a young mother then with my son was really little, and I was having a really hard day. And Meg in the book was having a really hard day at the same time. She was making jam, and it was very hot, and her husband was bringing over people when he didn't say he was, and I think she had her twins by that point, and everything was just really crazy. So I felt, I can relate to Meg. I know what she's going through. So I just think that these books still can have a place in our lives as we're older. So if there's a book that you haven't read, that's a classic, maybe go check it out. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. That is everything this week. I just wanted to say one quick thing that I forgot to say earlier. I am putting up a Destash of several yarns of mine in the Ravelry podcast group. If you want to go check it out, don't feel like you have to, but if you want to, if you're looking for more yarn, since I'm going to Rhinebeck in the fall, I like to have my stash at only 100 skeins of yarn. That may seem like a lot, or it may seem like nothing, but after SSK, I'm a little bit over that. I think I have 103 skeins, so after I have to enter my SSK yarns into my thread. So anyways, I went through my stash and took out skeins that I love, and they're beautiful, but they're not exactly my colors. Sometimes you pick colors that you probably wouldn't wear. So if you're interested in any Destash good price yarn, you can head over there and check out the Ravelry group thread for Destash. And if you have anything to Destash, definitely go put it up there. I always think it's fun to see what other people have and get good deals on stuff. So that's everything for this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week and that you get to do all the things you love. Okay, bye.